Hey everybody, it's Brian from quantlabs.net. I just wanted to let you know what's been going on. First off, sorry about the microphone quality here, past videos, and doing a cam thing courtesy of the Microsoft cheap ass products that I choose. But nonetheless, that's not what you're here for. I'm here to talk about the latest developments that's been going on with quantlabs.net, and where we're going, what we're doing, and da. Okay, first of all, I just wanted to let people know of some of the exciting stuff in terms of model development that I'm doing right now. With R, specifically, R scripts are being sourced out, worked on, seeing which ones actually work. Important stuff, obviously. We've got currently underway moving average, pairs trading, co-integration. Just finished putting up Garch. And all of these are really meant for market forecasting. These are coming from the best possible resources that I know of out there, that's obviously at low cost. I mean, there are more advanced models, more advanced techniques in forecasting model or forecasting markets. But right now I'm trying to keep everything all basic. What I'm finding is I'm getting a lot of executives from banks, hedge fund startups are coming to me, some, I don't even know what you call them, unregistered, let's call them alternative investment startups from throughout the world, be it Switzerland, China, the US, and just all over the map pretty well. But what I have been focusing on for the last, I've got an order of about 10 plus type of model types, as I call them, and I'm just going to run them through really fast. As I said, I've got Garch and ARIMA already posted. That's including autoregressive. Those are currently in the membership, but now what we're working on in my next set of prayers is moving average, pair trading, and co-integration. That's being worked on currently. Next up on queue is we've got mean reversion, statistical arbitrage, event arbitrage, and that's including like news-driven or event-driven. Arbitrage is a very popular way of what hedge funds use in today's world of forecasting and triggering trades automatically or systematically. I'm also looking at market inefficiency, which is another big one, especially where there's a lot of volatility in today's markets. I'm looking at CAPM, which is really used for estimating beta, and Bayesian, which is like its whole own world, and it's just a totally different world of analyzing time series. We've got PCA, and then the more complicated one, Markov chain, obviously with Monte Carlo, also known as MCMC. That is what's going on, and again, that's the basic stuff. But for me to get into like research paper quality stuff, we're talking a long time down the road. Now, as I said, these are all done in R scripting, and these are going to work out of box. When you download them from my membership, they are ready to go. And I actually do, this is what makes this service really unique, is that you can go out and download research papers. You can also download some kind of script, if it's MATLAB or in R. But the problem is they don't blend the two together. So what I'm doing now is I have an R script, whatever it is, in R or MATLAB, and then you also have your research paper. You blend them together, and I'm also now doing a code walkthrough or source code walkthrough video for each script you find, which eventually becomes part of a module for an online course that a lot of people have been asking me for. And for my research, these are worth in the neighborhood of like few $1,000s a piece, and these are just for specific models. So I'm already looking at quite possibly anywhere from 10, 15 different types of courses from these R code walkthroughs. So that's just in the R world, the analytics world, and then the big thing is for years I've been looking for different types of trading platforms. I've already spent quite a bit of time looking at the more mainstream trading platforms, be it Trading Technologies, Xtrader, RTS Tango, some really high-end stuff, and that's going right from that, which costs from $2,400 a month, $1,800 a month. I played with Market Cetera a few years ago, and that's about $1,800 a month. And then you get into the more popular retail trading platforms like TradeStation, MetaTrader, NinjaTrader, and a whole slew of those. There's always major complaints against all these type of platforms. What I'm planning to do is, those are to me black box technologies. It's basically you've got an API that you work with, and you hope to hell that when you have a piece of code, let's say a strategy, and you hope that that's compliant to what will work when you're working with these commercial APIs, and they're not cheap. So that's one area of concern that I would have. I'm a firm believer in open source, transparency, and making sure you have complete source code available. So I've spent an exhaustive amount of time searching through other mainstream open source trading platforms. These include AlgoTrader, ActiveQuant, TradeLink. There's a bunch of them. Now, all those platforms work really well, but they can be buggy. There's a community out there that helps you get through that. But I've identified one platform that seems to be abandoned. Yes, there is a disadvantage, but it's C++. And the only reason I'm bringing that up is because, there's always developers out there, oh, you got to have, Java, C#, blah, blah, blah. Those are fast enough compared to C++. I've seen metrics out there where maybe you've seen some of my videos when you're calling R from another language, be it C#, Java, or C++. What I'm finding is, let's say with Java, and I know this works, I've got a video on it, it works great, but the turnaround time can be multiple seconds, like 4, 5, 9, 10 seconds to do that call from Java calling that R environment. But the nice thing is when you use C++, that R call from C++ is very fast, like 2 seconds. Now that still you might go, oh, that's not fast enough, but there's two things that you need to consider. I watch Bloomberg every day. I've also talked to a number of people out of Europe and even in the US where regulators are clamping down very heavily on high frequency trading. Now, that might be a bad thing for the industry, which it pretty well could be, but it works for little guys like me where it levels the playing field where I don't have to worry about, well, now I have to go out and install a rack of servers in the environment of NYSE, NASDAQ, CME, or whatever, and spend $5,000 a month for a 5-year term. So you do the math there. I don't need to worry about that. Thankfully, with local providers, me being in here in Canada, they are enabling me to have a very fast connection coming out of my own residence. We're looking at, I've been promised next year in 2013, 150 megabits per second. Now that to me is fast. I've got guys in Europe that are saying, no, I can get 10 gig per second. That's incredible. I could probably run Cape Canaveral off that connection. But I'm thinking 150 megabits per second is pretty fast. But nonetheless, if let's say the NASDAQ or whoever regulator out of Europe says we're now going to put a 2 second, a half a second delay on any trade that goes through the exchange or through the gateway, that enables my system that may take 2 seconds to execute the trade. So in a way, it works to my benefit. Way I'm going, let's say if I use C++, this trading platform, as well as calling my R, I don't need to worry about things like GPU, FPGA, all that expensive and very complicated type of hardware. So there's that. Now that's not could happen. I'm not saying it will or won't, but it could. And if it does happen, boom, I'm in competition with a lot of these bigger platforms. So that's something that you may want to consider. Now, the other reason why I consider C++ in this trading, it's called Trading Shim, this platform, is that platform is C++, it's Linux, it can use the MySQL as your backend, which, again, I know that Yahoo Finance is running off of MySQL, so it can perform up to par compared to my other solution of Redis, using something like a Memcache, or I have no other providers that do that using Memcache on top of MySQL. So that is a possibility. I'm not saying it is or it isn't, but it's something worth investigating. And the other thing is the R package that enables you to connect using C++ is called RCPP. I have a video on one of my WordPress blogs, in the R-blog. In there, you'll find an hour-and-a-half video from the authors of RCPP. His name is Dirk and Roman. I apologize if you're watching this. That are making huge strides with these R packages like RInside, RCPP, that enable guys like me to be able to bridge R and C++ together. Now again, it's open source, which means, again, and I said earlier, I don't like black box technology. I don't like paying for the licensing. I don't like being limited and having to pay for further workers or whatever I'm going to try to do. If I'm trying to scale out a bigger cluster with more intelligent failover and redundancy and all that kind of good stuff. Classic examples, obviously Windows Server with their Cal licensing, or MATLAB with their workers. You're talking several thousands of dollars. So there's a lot of advantages with this type of technology. Again, I'll repeat, R, blending it with the C++ within your trading platform, and then using something like a trading, it's called trading-shim.org. You can check it out. That's what I'm planning to use. But I will need to go through a heavy debugging cycle to get this platform up to a certain level that I'm happy with, that I can say, okay, now I can do live trading off it. And again, you can also use that RCPP to talk to my R scripts, which are basically the models and strategies that I choose to use. So right now I'm focusing on those right now, and then in the down the line I'll be using this Trading Shim and so on and so forth. So I'm really excited to know that I'm coming pretty well to the end of the whole architecture picture, and going with quite possibly the fastest potential, and that has no bottlenecks, as well as there's no licensing. It's all true open source, end to end, meaning your model has the complete source code because it's in R. You are now using C++ itself, so you have that. Now, things I have not mentioned is R. In that video I was mentioning with the RCPP from Dirk and Roman, they say that R is nothing more than an extended C program. So if you really want to get fancy, you can do that to integrate the R right inside your C app or your trading platform. That's as an option if you really want to go crazy with it. Also, you do get the source code with R, the C++ itself, because you have the trading platform. Now you're going to ask, well, how do you execute the trades? Now, I've done it with all these questionable trading brokers. The one I'm definitely going to go with that has the best training resources that I've shown on my iPad or through their websites, Interactive Brokers, and they're global. I've not yet talked to a trader or a member that I have within my group that's not or does not have access to Interactive Brokers. They are, in my mind right now, number one for this sort of thing. There's always a light speed or whatnot from there. And there's another number of options that I have at my disposal. So that's the direction we're going in. I'm very excited to be able to educate people on this. I get really excited by it, and I've got quite a number of people that actually follow me step by step on what I do. And again, these include VPs from large banks. I'm not going to say who they are. Some of them are national banks and some sovereigns. Some of them are big European, US-based banks that are overseeing large teams of developers developing their own in-house trading platforms. Not only that, but they oversee that, but they're also overseeing the modeling or analytics of the research. So these guys come to me and are part of the membership to understand how I'm approaching it. And I take a lot of pride in that. Don't ask me for credibility or names. These guys do not go on camera. They do not identify themselves, and why would they? That's how it goes. So what am I saying? Right now, the membership is very cheap. It's very affordable. Once we get to the point where we do prove credible profits that come from this, I can assure you things where they are right now are not going to beat the prices that they're at. They're going to go from here all the way as high as I can go. And that's also for these courses that I'm putting together. It's just everything's coming together now where you get your modeling, you've got your R knowledge. We've had an amazing webinar from a person by the name of Ram that did a 2-hour session. If you are not familiar with R, that's part of the membership. There's a video for that. There's your models. As I said, there's R scripts. I've got courses on TradeLink, how to build that, how to build working with QuantLib, another open source C++, massive library for option trading. Some very big things that are part of that membership that I just don't get into because it's so vast and so much. Not only that, but I've been doing quite a lot of private webinars, public webinars, physical meetups, and we're building a fairly large community. I'd say I have about 70 active members right now within the private membership, the premium membership, as well as I have about, when you total up all the different media channels I'm part of, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, plus my own email list, I have about 3,000 people that are part of this, and I've only been at this for a year. We do the webinars. Right now we can handle up to 25 consecutive people coming into that webinar via GoToMeeting. If things blow up, I can easily scale it up to 100 people if need be. But right now I just keep it down to 25 for now. But that's where we're at. This is where we're going. Hopefully you can be part of the community and really take hold on what's available right now. As I said, I've gotten some really big wigs from banks and hedge funds and whatnot as part of this community, especially with the way the economy is, people looking for alternative investment opportunities. Not only that, but to be able to build their own infrastructure and use their own models to be able to get potential high returns on their trading, be it from a institutional level or all the way down to a well-off investor, independent investor that can maybe afford their own team of developers if need be. But we teach it from end to end, part of the membership, and we got so much stuff. I could go on and on about it, but I'm going to stop there. Just wanted to let people know I've rambled on enough, and hopefully you can be part of it. And I always say, see you on the other side. Take it easy.